So fast forward again to 2020, I get a therapist. Things are looking up. The week she had asked me to put these steps into action. It was the weekend my brother took down the outside wall at Port Royal and went up in a ball of flames. Now tell me, how guilty do you think I felt in that very moment? All of those thoughts were running through my head. I killed my brother.
Hello and welcome to the Dirt Track Confessions podcast with your host, Mandee Pauch Mahaney. Dirt Track Confessions begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dirt Track Confessions. I'm your host, Mandee Pauch Mahaney, and today we're going to touch on a topic not many people really talk about: mental health in racing. You know, when you watch my in-car footage, you'll see Mike tightening his belts right before he goes green. You'll see Billy, messing with his face shield and drops the face shield exactly at the right time every time. And you'll see my dad just kind of like lean into it, right? Like they all have similar actions, but why? Why are they doing these crazy things? Well, this is something that I personally deal with: severe anxiety. And I know I'm not alone, and I know it impacts so many people, from wives to dads to sisters, fans, even the drivers. Unfortunately, it's normal. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So I'm not one for putting labels on things, but when I was diagnosed, it just made so much sense. Everything just made so much sense. Fast forward to circa 2020, a few life-altering things happened to me, and I'll admit I was struggling. So I seeked help. And I got a therapist. If anyone's had a therapist before, or you might have one now, and you've tried explaining racing to them, let me tell you what, it isn't easy. That was probably like the biggest hurdle of the whole therapy. But she opened up a lot of doors that I was unaware of, but they made sense. And she also opened up some doors that not many people really would want to agree to. But one of the hardest things for me growing up, and still to this day, is my anxiety, or, my OCD. For me personally, call it whatever you want. It's just a freaking struggle, right? OCD, anxiety, they go hand in hand for me. They're like BFFs. Well, up until I started dating my husband, I went to all of my dad's races. I very, very, very rarely ever missed one of my dad's races. And if I did, it was because I was at the races with my brother. So my dad had a routine. He'd look at the same things on his way to the racetrack. He'd stop at the same place. He'd get the same coffee, like ritual to a T. And guess what? My brother has the same routine too. Everything down to which gloves do you put on first? Which foot, goes up over the door first as you get into the car? Do we get ice cream today or do we not get ice cream today? If we got ice cream last week and we won, we should get ice cream this week, right? But we got ice cream last week and we didn't win, so no ice cream for you today. Like, that is welcome to our world. Now, I am not here to play the blame game and blame my wonderful anxiety on my family, but just to paint, I guess I'm just doing this episode to paint the picture and to help those of you out there know that you're not alone. You are not alone, but as you can see, the apple really doesn't fall far from the tree here. So as my dad was getting in, I would talk to the cars. I'd actually say a little prayer as he'd strap in his helmet. He'd put it on. It was my routine. I had a routine. I highly doubt anyone knew. I doubt my dad even knows this. Like, every time we get in the car, I'd hand him the same things in the right way. And like when no one's looking, I'd kiss the roof of the car and I'd say like a little prayer, like, please keep my dad safe, let him cross the finish line. It was just what I did. So once I started to watch my husband race, man, it broke me. It was tears. It was so hard. Anyone with OCD knows you get the absolute worst detrimental thoughts, like intrusive thoughts. If I wasn't at the races, I thought my dad would get hurt. Something would happen. I'd miss something, or worse yet, he'd die. Yeah. Welcome to inside of my brain. So if you ask Mike, the first 2 years of dating me, it was not a walk in the park. He felt second fiddle, like I didn't care, but I did care. I just had this deep fear inside of me that I just couldn't let it go. You know, I've been watching my dad race for like 25 years. I never missed a race. How can I break that? So fast forward again to 2020, I get a therapist. Things are looking up. I'm feeling better. I'm getting better control over my thoughts. I had explained to her that every time my dad, my brother, my husband strapped into that car, I felt responsible, that if I didn't do my ritual, something bad would happen. Is there anyone out there listening that can relate to this? Okay, so you know how they park next to each other, you know, these days in the pits? I jokingly say it's because it's more convenient for me because I don't have to run around and chase things down. I don't miss anything, but really it's because of my anxiety. Like, bad things are going to happen. I'm going to miss something. And it's not like the FOMO of something exciting is going to happen and I'm going to miss it. Like, of course, but it's the, what if I'm needed? You know, what if I could be beneficial in a way? So I explain all this to my therapist, and she walked me through some steps to help me break away from those controlling habits. Ironically, are you ready for this? I don't think I ever even told my brother this. The week she had asked me to put these steps into action. You know, don't do your usual routine, fight the negative thoughts, everything will be fine. Oh, it was far from fine. I was ready to fire her when all this happened. I wanted to jump through that computer screen, you know, 2020, everything was through the computer. And I just wanted to shake her and tell her she was wrong. It was my fault. I thought I almost lost my brother. If you've been around, I'm sure your wheels are turning as to what event could have taken place. It was the weekend my brother took down the outside wall at Port Royal and went up in a ball of flames. Now tell me, how guilty do you think I felt in that very moment? My heart sunk. I wanted to puke. It was my fault. I didn't help him in the car. I didn't do our usual routine. How dare I? I just remember seeing the ball of flames go up and I just went running. Thank God he got out of the car as fast as he could because all of those thoughts were running through my head. I killed my brother. Like, it's chilling. Now, I haven't publicly told anyone about this before, and I'm not telling you to feel bad for me. I'm fine. Everything is fine. I've worked through it and have improved immensely since then, but I'm telling you this to let you know, mental health is no joke. I was allowing my negative thoughts to control me. I was letting, fear control me. What I think or what I do has absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of others. Yes, obviously we can all make an impact and we can affect people. But the reason my brother went head on into the wall at full speed was not because I didn't help him in the car or do my usual routine. I was letting an unhealthy addiction control me, and man, can it get ugly. When you live with OCD, you live with the thoughts of always being, in danger. Did I lock the door when I left the house? Did I turn the stove off? Did I hand the left glove before the right glove? Did I call my husband when, he was on the way to the races? Did I have a negative thought? Was that a sign I did something wrong? Do I need to backtrack? Will something bad happen now? Ironically, one of my friends who races flat track, he made a post about his anxiety and how it affects him when he's racing. He said he'll be at the starting line and he's fixing his face shield. It doesn't feel right. He fixes it again and again and again until it feels right. Within seconds, like less than seconds of them about to drop the green, if he doesn't feel right or doesn't feel, even, it instantly gets in his head and it throws him off right as he's about to go racing. Can you imagine the anxiety and the head junk that's going through his mind? It is literally debilitating. Now, I'm not saying I'm cured. I wish. I still have my daily struggles, But after listening to my friend's post, it kind of inspired me to want to share my own personal story with you guys. It's easy to judge oneself when you have these crazy thoughts running through your head. But if you can look at these thoughts as your mind trying to protect you, but with a sense of humor, rather than treating it like a threat, then you become in control. In the sport we live in, these drivers, they know as they strap in, they're putting themselves at risk. As all of us are every day, as soon as we wake up, their risk, it just happens to be a little bit different, than most. So we have to be willing to accept that risk and let those thoughts just pass through. There's no way past OCD except through it. So as soon as a negative thought comes to me, I flip it. I turn it into a positive. I know these cars are safe. I know the equipment that they're wearing will keep them safe, and I envision them crossing that finish line in one freaking piece. You ever wonder how I'm always so happy and positive? Well, this is why. I have to be. I literally have to be. I still fight those thoughts, but every time they enter in my mind, I take back the power and I take back control of it. I give less energy to the negative and I turn those thoughts into positive thoughts, because the more I give energy to it, the more those thoughts are going to grow. There is no one right way to respond to such thoughts. What works for me, it might not work for you. The end game here is being able to see thoughts as thoughts, not threats. You can entertain them, but only if you wish to entertain them. You can expose them, but only if you want to do the work in that moment. You don't always have to. You can allow and accept them exactly as they are, but only if you can do so without bullying yourself or blaming yourself. The only person you are in control of is you. If you carry with you, a big toolbox for your OCD, you can develop that self-confidence needed to reach in there with your eyes closed and pull out whatever you connect with in that moment and use it to navigate OCD in that moment alone. Use the tools that work for you. Mastery over OCD is not about being right all the time. It's about being able to adapt. So I'm here to let you know you are not alone and you can absolutely control it to the best of your ability, of course, but don't let it control you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Short and sweet, but got a little deep, a lot of little personal, some things I've never shared before. If you did, please screenshot this if you related to it and share it on social media. Tag us, drop us a comment, tell us your own personal stories and how you've overcome them. Thank you again. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and head over to patreon.com/DirtTrackUntold to become part of Club DTU. Wow, I'm nailing it, guys. Until next time, hope you have an amazing week and hopefully we will see you all at the races.